Maniacs, welcome back to the channel, your local bedhead here. So, a couple of people decided to give their thoughts and opinions about the certain subject matter, the Conjuring House, as we all know. And you guessed it. By the title, you probably already assumed, yes, it's Cody and Satori. Cody and Satori, who performed the toe tapping method back in Surviving Week at the Conjuring House. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and start this video off by saying, I am not here to trash them. I've already said my piece on that method a long while back. That method was used 2 years ago now. 2 years ago, I think the internet spoke. They gave their thoughts, their opinions. That's it. I genuinely just want to hear what they're going to say. I hope they're not going to gaslight anybody. I hope they're not going to try to make it sound like that the method was not fake and people were stirring up bullshit just to stir up bullshit. So what we're going to do here is watch their video, go over its commentary, and give my personal thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go support the original video, because this reaction would not be happening if the video was not posted to begin with. Let's go ahead and dive into it, and hear what they have to say.
Hey, it's Cody.
And it's Satori. So we just wanted to quickly do a video here because there's a lot of misinformation being pushed online, which I'm sure we're all used to by now. It's the internet. But it's in relation to...
Okay, well, that's true. The internet does push out a lot of misinformation. Sometimes channels and people get certain things wrong and they present it in a way which it's not always intentional, because I've done it myself. Never intentional. It's just sometimes we get things wrong and we misunderstand things and they do get pushed out. It's happened to me recently. I've apologized for things like that. So that's not really bad. That is absolutely true. Okay. Yeah, no, that does happen, folks. That really does happen. And a lot of people were genuinely confused about a lot of this Conjuring House stuff, and still are genuinely confused. That's why I posted the video I did the other day.
To the Conjuring House auction being canceled and the GoFundMe that was started by my father, Jason Hawes, to help save the house and all that. So we just want to come on here and fix some things. So, to begin, the auction that was scheduled for Halloween, October 31st, for the Conjuring House was canceled. And I know that sounds terrifying. I know certain news outlets had just posted saying that the Conjuring House sold with not much information. So we understand how scared everybody got. It seemed like the house...
Even then, even still, like, again, I know people are going to be like, you know, why aren't you trashing them? Why are you letting them have their voice? They're people. They deserve to have a voice too. I'm not going to sit here and trash them, okay? I've already said what I wanted to say about that method. But them coming out here and talking about the situation at hand, I don't really have an issue with. Some people might be like concerned. Oh, I'm not concerned. My personal opinion, I'm not too concerned. Okay. So, speaking about what they just said, that is true that some news outlets actually did say the house sold. They weren't really too specific on what sold, right? So I actually watched a news outlet and still got that wrong. Yes, I did. I assumed the mortgage on the house being sold meant that it still sold to the people who bought the mortgage, right? Who paid off Jacqueline Nunez's debt. I still assumed that meant they bought it. Even though that's not necessarily the actual factual thing that they're saying, there's still a chance that this house could go up for auction. There's still a chance that it could sell. It's just all depending on, you know, the person. So that was something I got confused on myself. And I'm not a professional by any means about this stuff. So like, I hope that makes sense that yes, it's understandable that I got confused, but a lot of people did.
House was kind of stolen out from under the cause. We believed that the house had sold it first. So we did discuss this with different people, with an entire team of people. My father had reached out to people to get more information. And what happened is the house did not actually sell. The bank note sold. So what that means is the bank that was putting on the auction had sold the note to another lender, debt collector, some sort of private lender. So what that means is the person who owns the house, who has owned the house when the house went into foreclosure, still owns the property.
So Nunez still owns the house. Okay.
Just there is a new lender now that is owed that money. So
So she's going to have no choice but to more than likely sell the place because she needs to pay off that debt still to the person who had purchased the debt. If that makes, I think that's what we're getting at here. Okay, that actually explains it a little bit more. For me, at least.
Foreclosure process is essentially going to happen again unless other avenues arise.
Right, and from what we understand, this happens all the time with mortgages. Mortgage companies sell off debt all the time, and not only with properties. This also happens with like credit cards, for example. If you have a credit card through a department store, let's say you miss a few payments. Usually, they sell your debt to a debt collector, usually a law office, and they push a little harder to try getting the money. So it's the same thing, same scenario where just the debt has been sold. The current owner still owes the money. They still own the money. They still own the house, but it's just a different person now that we have to deal with.
So there's a
Okay, so Nunes still owns the house. I think it's making more sense.
GoFundMe. The GoFundMe that was started by my father, Jason Hawes, is back on. And the reason for that is because of this new development. It essentially means there's just more time to look into this. There's other avenues to look into. If you watch my father, Jason Hawes' video, he explains it perfectly as to why the GoFundMe is back on. Now, what is this GoFundMe? So if you have not heard, my father, Jason Hawes, started a GoFundMe to save the farmhouse. Andrea Perrin had initially come out asking my father to do everything he can to save her childhood home.
And I have not reacted to the full thing, but if this really is what she wants Jason Hawes to be the owner of the Conjuring House or whoever that she reaches out to and maybe pleads that, hey, we need something to happen here. I do not want this place to fall into the wrong hands. I do not want people to be, I just don't want it to be a moneymaker. I want it to be respected as a piece of history and not just a moneymaker. Then I think, she picked a decent person absolutely for that role. I think it's a respectable wish from Andrea. Again, I've not watched her full video. Maybe at some point I will do a reaction to kind of get more of an understanding. I saw little hints and clips of it throughout that news report I watched the other day, and it did seem like she was pretty emotional about it. So I don't know if they showed like the full entirety of her emotional state, but I'm curious to see it myself.
And with that, it was very emotional. If you happen to go look at it, just understand that it's very emotional. With that, my father said, we need to try. We need to try everything we can do. So all the former staff, there's former owners, people who just love the house really came together to try to support this mission. And it exploded. I mean, everybody from around the world is talking about this movement. Other haunted locations are talking about this movement.
Yeah.
Influencers are
if I'm not mistaken, Jason Hawes is already over $100,000. And it would have been at $100,000 sooner if that pause didn't happen. But it's there. The $100,000's there. So I think 9 more $100,000 and we hit $1 million. So, I mean, it's still very much possible. We're still relatively early in the month, even knowing we are coming up to the halfway point. It really needs to kick into high gear. We have time still, but it does need to kick into high gear if they hope to actually even come close to raising that money. It's a fucking accomplishment. Don't get me wrong. But there's still a lot that still needs to be brought up before, we're talking, anybody here has a shot at getting the Conjuring House, at least within this this GoFundMe, right? So it's an accomplishment. $100,000 is fucking crazy, but we're still a little ways off before we even hit that goal. It could be historical. It could be a world-shattering accomplishment, but we're still not close to that point yet. So again, if you have not and you want to see the Conjuring House go into some decent hands and you're like, I like this idea, go donate to the GoFundMe. I will leave the link in the description.
Talking about this movement. So it's really grown. And what it's showing is that the people can stand up and say enough is enough. We're not going to let this property fall into hands again. It's at risk of falling into negative hands by certain people. I'm not mentioning anybody specific. There's people that have not even come out and announced that they were interested in the house that have negative intentions.
I will say I have heard this from other sources too, that they're hoping they do not get their hands on this location. And no, I'm not talking about Elton or Matt Rife. I have heard that there are people that they do not want to see get this place. That's scary. I mean, it's scary because this could be the beginning of a lot of places. I mean, it's already happening. A lot of places being owned by the wrong hands. Not really there to respect the property, but to be there to reap the benefits of the property, right?
The people are saying enough is enough. We want the house to go into hands that we feel we can trust. We want it to be a more affordable experience than it was before under a previous ownership. We really want to open up experiences for people, not even just paranormal experiences that everyone can enjoy. And we want this house to give back to the community it is in. So it's amazing to see this movement happen. Now, the GoFundMe, my father is agreeing to match donations that are going to the GoFundMe. And what this is essentially doing is helping alleviate the costs that come with the property, as well as a lot of the repairs that will need to be done with the property. It does need work. And what this does is it means that if less money is put into the property by my father, then there's less money that needs to be brought back to reimburse everything that was put into it. If the community comes together, it alleviates that cost. So in turn, it makes it so the prices stay really affordable, more affordable than they were under previous ownership. So everybody has a chance to visit this house. We really want to make the experience.
I should emphasize, even knowing that yes, it's going to be more affordable, I will say that no matter what, it's probably going to be expensive for some people, and I'm sure some people are still going to find it to be costly, which is understandable. It's just compared to what it used to be, which was, I think, around $1,200, $1,300 per investigation. They're going to try to bring it down quite a bit. And that's basically what essentially they're saying, is that the more people who donate, the more money that is brought from the community instead of Jason's own pocket, that money, it will be a lot cheaper at the end of the day. It will be much more affordable at the end of the day than what it was previous, is what I'm assuming. So who knows where it's going to be at. It still could be rather, costly, but it's not going to be nowhere near what it was, hopefully. So we'll just see what happens. We'll see. Again, I'm not raising my hopes too much, but I don't think they would. I don't think the people who would buy the place would go back on their word and not make it as affordable as they can make it, right? So that's at least, it's a bit uplifting, I think.
Experience open for everybody, especially my father. That's something he stands behind. So that's what the GoFundMe is essentially doing. Now, we really want to go over some of the rules of this GoFundMe. Some people are still pushing misinformation about the GoFundMe, and we feel like it's really important to get the truth out there, because you know how it happens on the internet. It's like a game of telephone. Everything changes, and then there's something that's a complete lie that's spread. So here's the truth.
I hope you're not talking about a certain something. People have their opinions, and I think the majority of people feel a certain way. That's all I'll say about that.
One, if this GoFundMe does not succeed in acquiring the house in any way, donations will be refunded. So that is something we want to say here.
Which I had no doubt about to begin with. Again, why the fuck would you do that? Like, that stuff does not go unnoticed. So, yeah, to think that maybe they would try to pocket or use the money for something else, I just never saw, because obviously, if anybody understands the internet, it would be these two. And the repercussions that could be faced if trying to pull something. Again, I'm confident with my opinion. They may not agree. That's fine. I'm very confident with my opinion about that. I'm just saying, there are repercussions to doing things on the internet. So you got to be careful. Even I have faced repercussions for doing things on the internet. Sometimes I, myself, would fuck up. And even a small fuck up could lead to big consequences. So imagine a big fuck up. Where would that lead? Massive consequences.
Clear up, because there are a lot of people saying, well, what happens if this doesn't work? Refunds.
Right. The money's not coming out of GoFundMe until there's a chance to actually pay somebody for the house, if that makes sense. So if we don't come to that conclusion, then the money just goes back.
2, do not lose sight of the original mission here. It's to help Andrea Perrin know that her house is protected, the house that she grew up in. So do not lose sight of what originally started this GoFundMe. Also, the funds are not going into anybody's pocket. It's not just going to be pocketed. It's not just to obtain a house. It's to keep something affordable for the community, while other locations right now are becoming so expensive, too expensive for a lot of people to afford. So it's really a movement by the people, for the people.
And another thing I've been seeing is people saying, wait, I thought Jason Hawes didn't want to buy the Conjuring House. And he didn't. It wasn't until Andrea's video, like Satori said, asking Jason for help. Also, behind the scenes, all of us previous staff also was asking Jason for help because we think, he would be the perfect person to take on this job.
Also, this property is probably going to go under an LLC if obtained, and people from the house's
which has, of course, been discussed. I mean, that's not really. I'm not really crazy shocked about that personally. Jason would have been up there on the top 5 for me of people I would like to see own this place if they were given the opportunity. So, yeah, that's not really too surprising that it makes sense that the staff themselves were like, hey, we want to see this guy get the place too. That'd be great.
Past, previous workers, previous owners, people that just really loved and were involved with the house would come back and help run it the way that it should be. So Jason's not going to be there, lock down the house and make it so nobody can enter unless you empty your pockets. No, that's not what he stands for. That's not what anybody here stands for. It's to help the house and to help Andrea know that the house is safe. I also want to say that Matt Rife and Elton did not buy the Conjuring House. I know there's a
She is just hitting that stairs. They are still going. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm glad it didn't break out into a fight because that would have been recorded. Sorry about that. And it's done. Okay. Back to this. If I can remember what we were just talking about. She was going off on him about video games and all you do is play video games. You have no time for your family, and start smacking the stairs. But they went their separate ways, it sounds like. Good God, that was interesting, to say the least. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. I think they just got done talking about...
Did not buy the Conjuring House. I know there's a lot of comments saying, I thought that these two people bought the house. They did not. They bought the Warrens' house in Monroe, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So the Conjuring House and the Warren House...
Which I knew that. I knew that they bought the Warren House, not the Conjuring House. That's something that a lot of people get mixed up on because they take place in the same horror franchise and the connection between the Warrens and the Conjuring House. There's no getting around it. The Conjuring, the first movie, was about this, the Perrin farmhouse, but it was mainly about Ed and Lorraine Warren, so it's very hard to, separate the two. So it makes sense that a lot of people got confused, and I'm pretty sure Sam and Colby are now calling the Smurl house the new Conjuring House, so I'm sure that's going to confuse a lot of people, too. Yeah, it's just a big meshed up pile of confusion.
Actually have no connection whatsoever besides the fact that the Warrens at one time did go to the Conjuring House for a paranormal case. So they're two very different properties, two very different sides of the story. So I just want to confirm there and let everybody know that house, the Conjuring House, is the house that is for auction, and nobody besides the owner that you have seen in the last year or two owns the house. And we want to make sure that it is clear.
But it's no longer up for auction. It's okay, I think I know what she meant.
That this movement was started by Jason Hawes and Andrea Perrin and has grown. That's what should be focused on. Okay? We understand that some people have different opinions about Cody and I and what we do in the paranormal field. That does not matter here. The focus is saving a historic property. The focus shouldn't be on us. We are not a main focus here. We are sitting in the background just showing that we support this cause.
I think I understand why the video was made, but unfortunately, because you did post this video, it is going to draw attention to you. The fact that people are already concerned that you're going to have a part to play in the Conjuring House, coming back, is concerning to a lot of people. There's just no getting around it. But let's go ahead and listen to what you have to say first, before I say anything.
We are not pushing ourselves into anything. We really just want to give true information, because we're seeing a lot of misinformation out there. So please keep your focus on the mission at hand. Keep your focus on the Conjuring House and saving the farm.
And if you don't believe in the paranormal, that's perfectly fine. But like Satori said, there is an historical home at stake here.
Well,
and
I do agree with that. I genuinely do. I think, like, regardless if you believe in the paranormal or not, you know, there's something for everybody here. There's some people who will look at this as like, you know, I don't want to see this historical landmark torn down. I don't believe in the paranormal. Fuck that shit. And fuck, you know, anything that anybody resolves around this. But I don't want to see this place go down. So I'm going to pay some money or donate some money to hopefully help keep this place up and running. Regardless if it's the paranormal. Some people actually give a shit about history. So there is that too. And this is an old building on an... And this is like a very old building. So people want to save it.
Risk here. One of the oldest homes in Rhode Island. This house dates back to the late 1600s, early 1700s, and right now it's abandoned. We've had reports that people have tried breaking in. The barn has already caught fire once. Everyone has been scared of fire happening at the location. So this house really needs to be saved. Put the paranormal aside. This is a very historic home, one of the oldest homes in the area, and it needs to be saved, and it needs to be saved by the right people.
Also, I want to say thank you. I know I'm not the one that's the head of this movement, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who has taken their time to share, to donate, even just to give your words of support to the cause. I'm seeing so many people share words of support to this mission. It's so beautiful to see.
Well, yeah, it's at the end of the day, it's a good cause. It's a good mission. I mean, I'm very much proud to promote it as much as I possibly can to get the word out there as much as possible. 110%. I really love the idea that the paranormal community is coming together for something. That to me brings a smile to my face. I think it's good, regardless of what you think of the people. It is something that I think anybody and everybody can get behind and be like, okay, well, if it's everybody kind of trying to do this, then let's see what happens. So I do like that. It doesn't matter whether you're a ghost hunter, a paranormal enthusiast, a skeptic, a straight skeptic, but still loves this stuff, debunker who loves this stuff. It doesn't really matter what side of the spectrum you're sitting on within the paranormal community, what you lean to most. It's just at the end of the day, you're like, well, I don't want to see this place go down. I want to see this place get well taken care of. There's a positive to it.
I can't tell you the last time I've seen the paranormal field so unified on something. You have skeptics, debunkers, believers, researchers that aren't really in the paranormal. They're just researching the subject and kind of stay out of all the paranormal and media side of things.
Yeah.
You have investigators are in the media that specialize in YouTube and Instagram and all these different platforms to get their investigations out on their TikTok. I just want to say it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see all of us come together for a mission, whether we agree with each other or not, whether we like each other or not. We're all coming together to do something amazing, and I've been emotional,
cool.
so I'm trying not to get emotional here. It's just amazing to see that the paranormal field is not completely divided. It's not dead, pun intended. Everybody can rise and come together for something that's meaningful, and to see that.
Well, that's why I like this. That's why I felt good about this, because it does feel like he's trying to bring somewhat everybody together to do something cool. And you got to be a fan of that. You just do. I know people have their issues with Jason Hawes. I know people have their issues with Satori and Cody. I have my issues with Satori and Cody. I believe the method was faked. 110%. I think they have been called out on multiple lies. I think it's been obvious, and that's just my thoughts and opinions. But I genuinely do agree with them when I say that it's nice to see this. Okay? Like she said, we all have difference of opinions. We may not like each other all the time. We may actually really just genuinely despise certain things we do. But it's bringing a smile to my face even thinking about it. There's just a part of it that's like, but can we just all agree on one thing here? That it'd be kind of cool to see this place get saved, right? Right. That's a cool concept. So I genuinely do agree with these two here. Again, I have no issues with Satori and Cody, and I will say that, and I mean this full-heartedly. Satori and Cody, if you watch this, if it's ever crossed your mind, I'm not saying it has, but if it's ever crossed your mind, please, And I'm genuinely, this is not me saying this as somebody who wants to see you guys not get out in the spotlight, who does not want to see you guys maybe have a career in YouTube or content creation. Do not get employed here. And I mean that. I mean that so sincerely. As a person to another person, or to people, I do not want to see you guys put yourselves in a situation to what you know will happen. You know full well what being employed at this location again could do. And look, I'm not sitting here saying that you guys should not have been called out. I'm not sitting here saying that the people who had every right to debunk those videos, to debunk you guys, should not feel proud of what they did. I think they should. I'm looking at you two as human beings who feels emotions. Okay? It's important. We all feel emotions. Do not put yourselves in this position. Stay away from this. In the sense that do not get employed here. Do not try to do the method there. Because that is just going to lead to drama. It's going to lead to hate. It's going to lead to frustration. It's going to lead to depression. And I don't want to see you guys face that, like what happened last time. Again, people like to pick sides. I'm not someone to pick sides, but I will say, I do believe your method has been debunked. I do believe a lot of the criticisms, not the hate, but the criticisms were just. I do not want to see you guys receive the hate. Most, if not 99% of the debunkers that debunked your method were pleading with people to not give you guys hate, and that did not stop it. But they had the right to call it out, and they had the right to debunk it. Please do not do this to yourselves by putting yourselves in that home as employees or anybody associated with that building. I'm not saying you can't visit. I'm not saying you can't enjoy the place that you used to work, but don't try to be employed there. Please don't, because I do not want to see what happened happen again. Okay, I genuinely, I'm concerned for the mentality, like your mental health. I'm concerned for the mental health of you guys if that is to happen again. Because that, even I, somebody on the sidelines who did not believe in the method, I believed it at first, but did not believe in that, I was shocked to see how much insanity was coming from that and how much disgusting comments. I'm not saying if you sat there, criticizing them, that was a bad thing, but for like the people going like for the throat. Oh my God, it got scary. Some things that were said were disgusting. So please do not do that to yourselves again. For your own sake, do not do that to yourselves again. Okay, that's all I wanted to say for that.
Thank you. It's amazing.
So we put the link to the GoFundMe page in the description of this video. It's also posted all over Jason Hawes's page, and you may have seen it being shared by many people around the world, which has been really cool to see. But we understand that times are tough right now, and people, of course, don't have a lot of funds to spare. But let me tell you, every small dollar helps because if somebody donates, $5, and multiple people donate $5, that all adds up eventually.
Yep.
And if you can't donate, then all we ask is that you please share it. If you can share it on your social media accounts so some other people see it, that's supporting the GoFundMe right there. And that's what counts. All of us coming together has been really cool, like Satori said. And we hope that we can make this happen for Jason and Andrea.
Yeah. So, to finish this video, the GoFundMe is in the description of this video. Please share. If you're willing to donate or you have the funds to donate, please consider donating. You are not obligated to do anything. We're just asking that if you would like to help, that's how you do it. Please do. And hopefully this works out. And hopefully you can see everybody on the other side of this and it can make a positive end to such a crazy story.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys.
Yeah, it's been crazy to say the least. This wasn't a bad video. This was them obviously just coming out and saying that they appreciate the support. They know that there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of misunderstandings, which is pretty understandable. It's very confusing. Even they acknowledged that it was confusing for them too. It's all confusing. Even Jason Hawes at first was like, this sucks. Even Elton at first said, this sucks. It's sold. But then we also started, we were like, oh, okay, wait. Okay, so it's not exactly that. It's this. So there is some positivity that comes from this. And as for the message overall, this is a a positive message in the sense that it is the community all coming together to try to accomplish something unique, right? That's the cool part about it. I myself love that concept. So, having said all of that, I meant what I said to you guys. This is a direct message to you guys. Please don't, like, I understand you're familiar with the place, you enjoy the location, but you know as well as everybody else knows that if you decide to employ yourselves there or to be involved in that kind of way, not saying that's what you were thinking, not saying that's what you were intending, it's going to lead to some insane backlash. And you know it will. You know it will. So, like, please don't do that. People don't forget that simply. The internet is the internet for a reason, and you know where it could lead. And even might lose business if that does happen. So again, I'm not saying that's what you guys were thinking. I'm not saying that. I'm just like emphasizing, please do not do that. This video was not bad, but please don't try to be more involved than like saying what you just said, being like in the background, because it's going to leave some insane consequences, and you already know it's going to lead to some of the most disgusting comments you'll probably ever face. I stated that, yes, debunkers, when they debunked your videos and they debunked your method, they tried to emphasize and they tried to push that nobody go over there and give you the heat and the hate that you got. Criticism and giving your opinion is 100% fine. But for what was being said to you guys, none of us liked that. Nobody was pushing for those kind of comments and messages to you guys. So please just avoid working there. Please just do it. I'm looking at you guys as a couple of human beings who went out and tried to do something and it backfired. If you try to do it again, it's going to backfire again. Please don't do it. Not saying that's what you were thinking, not saying that's what you were going to push, but if it ever crosses your mind or has crossed your mind, just don't do it. I do not want to see what happened previous to happen again, on repeat, full blast. I've stated my opinion about the method. I'm very strongly with that opinion to the point where I'm probably not going to be swayed. I understand that, yes, your dad is putting in the efforts to help get this place under construction, fix it up, open it to the public again like it was previous, but in better hands this time. But please do not put yourselves through what you already know will happen if you decide to go down that path. Please don't do it. I just don't want to see it happen again. Let me know what you think in the comment section, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you on the next one. Do take care.
Reactions are nothing new. However, there is one man on a mission who wants to prove the world a fakery. He used to follow all these paranormal shows. Now he's had enough. He is done. Dark sources throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He is watching, not letting them get away. All these fakers, they're gonna have to pay. Triceratops is throwing down, coming after all these paranormal clowns. He's watching, not letting get away. All these fake out stars, tearing the fakers apart. He with his heart, no one dare tell him can't react, because Jacob's had